Myths I'm sick of hearing about the menopause. It doesn't happen overnight. You don't wake up one day and think you're in the menopause, or you go and have a blood test and they say, oh yeah, that's it, yeah, tomorrow you're going to be in the menopause. This is something that's gradually creeping up, and because some of us might have really turbulent periods, hormone fluctuations, you can't quite decipher which is which. Every woman's menopausal journey will be different, but mine was everything that I'd been through before, heightened, like it had been put on steroids. Where I would be super hormonal, I was like the Hulk. I started looking at photo frames of me and my husband, and the ones that I'd loved and treasured for so long, I started to think he was controlling me. My mind started playing tricks on me. I even didn't want to get out of bed one day. I felt a little bit depressed, and that is very unusual for me. You know your rhythms, but mine were just all very heightened. I actually did find out when I went for a routine thyroid check that I had entered perimenopause. But because I'd just had my baby, my hormones were all over the place, so it was all kind of camouflaged into one big hormonal spaghetti junction type mess. But you will start to know what's normal. You've known your body. But another myth, when you do have your blood test, but the doctor will say categorically you are not going through the menopause, or oh, you are going through the menopause. So many friends of mine that have had blood tests that feel that they're going through perimenopause, the doctors have said that they're not. So I think it's a little bit like your AMH levels that I will talk about on an IVF video. Every month, it's like a conveyor belt. Every month you might get 1 egg, 2 eggs, no eggs, changes every single month. That's what your hormones will do. The doctor will take a blood test and he will just take a screenshot of that one moment in your body where your hormones might be nice and stable, and then 20 minutes later, they could be doing that. You have to trust your own body. Another myth, symptoms are not all the same. I know my best friend hasn't had a hot flush yet. She's had every other symptom apart from a hot flush, where some women just have hot flushes. No rage, nothing else but hot flushes. So every woman's symptoms are different. They tend to copy your mother, your grandmother. They tend to stay very similar in the family. But don't compare yourself with your friend or your peers at the school, because that will just put so much more pressure on you. They will not be the same as another woman's. Another myth, that your menopause will start in your 50s. Well, I was 42, and I'm sure Davina McCall was my age, and there's other women now have started to research it started in their 30s, which is just crazy. So don't think, if you're younger, don't presume you're not going through it, because it can happen in your 30s. Something that I was not aware of is that you can lose your hair. Through my journey, I have lost so much hair, it has terrified me. Going through the menopause kick-started my thyroid into an overactive one, which both menopause and thyroid can affect your hair. So my hair loss has been incredible, which has been so scary. Another myth, that HRT is dangerous. One of my really close friends had breast cancer in both breasts, so she cannot take HRT, but she would if she could. There will be so many women out there that can't take HRT. I totally get that. That darkness that surrounds HRT, everybody's going to get cancer from it. It's just not true. There was an outdated article many moons ago. Speak to your doctor, because if you don't even try, HRT could be life-changing for you. If you're allowed to take it and you want to take it, it could make you feel so much better. I didn't want to get out of bed before I started HRT again. So for me, it's been an absolute godsend. Okay, another myth I want to crack open is the fact that we shrivel up and die during our menopause, that we're done, we're over, we've reached our sell-by date and there's nothing left for us. Absolute bollocks. This is what happened to me when I reached menopause. I had my second baby after being on bed rest for many months, jumped straight into menopause at 42. At exactly the same time, I lost my business of 12 years. I had a vintage clothing company and it's all over new. We had shops all over the UK. And after COVID, it just took a real turn, and then cost of living, we ended up closing the stores. Now at 42, I have no degrees. When I left school, I got a job straight away. So it's all I knew, fashion was all I knew, and to work for myself for so long, I just hadn't got a Scooby-Doo. I've got 2 small children, but I have to work. So I'm going through the menopause, I'm super forgetful, I'm feeling like I just don't know where to turn and what to do. I'm scrambling around in the dark. I ended up stumbling onto social media, something that I'm not au fait with. I don't really know what I'm doing with. I've not used it properly. A couple of months in, my partner advised me to do a little bit of chatting on the doorstep. It's something I call the doorstep diary. I don't think I've got huge pearls of wisdom to offer, but I did do some kind of a chitter chatter at the doorstep about life hacks. And I ended up getting signed by an agent in London, which was mind blowing for me. So I think I was 43, 44. But the point is, I'm in my mid 40s with nothing behind me to start a brand new career. Stepped onto social media, put your holiday snaps up or a few pictures of the kids, but I've never really used it ever professionally. I always had somebody do it for me at Loot. So I stumbled onto Instagram. I did a few fashion reels. Honestly, didn't know what I was doing. I still don't really know what I'm doing. Couple of months in, I do a random doorstep video. I ended up getting loads of traction really, really quickly, and lots of viral posts, which were freakishly unusual, and got signed to an agent. I then got a John Frieda hair advert, which is the most ironic thing, ladies, because I have lost so much hair during the menopause and with my thyroid disorder, that the fact that I got a hair advert was just laughable. Then I'm filming for ITVX. It was just, it was so exciting and such an incredibly surprising turn of events. So my point is, life isn't over when you hit the menopause. In fact, I had such spiritual growth and such career opportunities. It felt like the best time of my life, which is, it totally is ironic. I'm forgetting everything and I'm feeling really, really tired and fatigued and hormones are everywhere. But all these doors of opportunity kept opening for me. So it definitely isn't over when you hit menopause. In fact, it might give you the clarity that you've needed for decades, which it did for me. I wish I'd done all of this years and years ago, instead of jumping on that rat race or that treadmill of life, thinking that was it, that's all you know, that's all you're going to do from now till the end, because that's what I wanted to do. I had my businesses, it's all I ever knew, and I was going to grow them and potentially give them to my children. That definitely was not my path. And in fact, I was thinking, driving over here, that the thing I really wanted to do as a kid, that's something I talk about on my doorstep diaries, is when people get stuck in a rut in their 40s, it tends to happen in their careers. Think about what you wanted to do as a kid, when you were pure and innocent and nothing got in your way and you weren't weighed down by bills and life. What did you want to do as a kid? Because that will give you a little bit of clarity into which kind of path you should be on or should be taking. And mine was, I was always a bit of a performer. There's pictures of me in my mum's house in the hallway, showing off, wearing her clothes and makeup and dancing and talking the head off anyone that would listen. And that just gets lost. It just gets lost. I grew up with a single mom, and all I felt like I should have done was get a job. So as soon as I left school, in fact, I got my first job at 12 years of age, and I lied about my age so I could get the job, so I could contribute to the house at 12. And then when I left school, I got a job full time to contribute to the house. And your dreams kind of get left behind if you're not in a lucky enough position to mould them and curate them. But it's a funny thing now that when I lost everything, completely everything, I had to start again, that inner me, that inner child came out. I made room for it, or the menopause made room for it. And now, by complete default, I'm doing the thing that I've always wanted to do. So it's not over. It's not over, because I've had the best time of my life in my mid-40s, and it's genuinely getting better. Even sitting here doing this, talking to you, I would never have dreamed of doing this before, not in a million years. And the more I do it, the more I feel more confident, and the more I'm enjoying it. Asian people call it a second spring, the menopause, which I think is absolutely beautiful. It's a time where you don't have to worry about all of those other things anymore. You have to think about yourself. You have to start loving yourself and giving yourself that time. And I really, really, really feel that. I'm giving myself so much more time because I have to. Some days I don't feel sprightly and full of the energy that I used to have. Some days I need to take a little bit longer for me to clear my head or to exercise so I feel my best for the day. But that's forcing me to look after me, and it's doing so much for me, mentally, spiritually, physically. So for that menopause, I'm sincerely grateful. No two menopause journeys are the same. Don't compare yourself with your peer or your friend, because it will put so much more pressure on the situation. You're an individual with a unique body, and it will do something completely different to someone else's. Do the best thing for you and listen to your body. And it's time we talked openly about the menopause without shame or judgment. See your mid-40s, see your menopause journey as a new beginning, because that's what it is. It really is. So if you want more honesty about womanhood or anything midlife, please subscribe, drop a like, and I'll be back with more.